everyone, my name is Nawa Nisriina from class 2A and I would like to tell you about my best reading report. The book is titled Confessions by Minato Kanae. Confessions follows Yuko Moriguchi, a middle school teacher whose name Dr. Manami is found dead in a swimming pool at the school. While the incident is officially ruled an accident, Moriguchi reveals during her final homeroom lesson that she knows the truth. Two of her students were responsible for her doctor's death. Before leaving her teaching position, Moriguchi secretly takes revenge by making the two students believe that they have been exposed to HIV-infected blood. This revelation marks the beginning of a series of psychological conflicts that slowly spiral out of control. The story then shifts between different characters' perspectives, showing how the incident affects the two students, their families, classmates, and Moriguchi herself. One student, Shuya Watanabe, is a brilliant but emotionally isolated teenager obsessed with gaining recognition. The other, Naoki Shimomura, struggles with guilt and social pressure, leading him to withdraw from society. As the consequences of Moriguchi's actions unfold, the students become trapped in a cycle of fear, paranoia, guilt, and desperation. Relationship breakdown, violence escalates, and each character is forced to confront the results of their choices. The novel builds towards a shocking climax in which Moriguchi reveals that her revenge plan was far more elaborate than anyone had imagined. The story ends with a chilling final twist, leaving readers to reflect on the destructive power of revenge and the lasting consequences of human actions. Okay, now let's move on to my evaluation of this book. This book has an engaging plot that keeps readers curious about what will happen next. Each chapter is told from a different character's point of view, allowing me to understand and experience the emotions of each character more deeply. In addition, the detailed storytelling helps readers become fully immersed in the story. Another aspect I really like about this book is how it explores different family-related themes. Through the character of Yuko Moriguchi, the story portrays a mother's love and devotion to her child. It also explores the theme of a child feeling restricted and controlled by their parents through the character of Naoki Shimomura. In addition, the novel highlights the effects of parental neglect on a child through the character of Shuya Watanabe. Another important lesson that can be taken from this book is that everyone has reasons behind their actions, and the way we treat others can have a significant impact on who they become. The characters in this novel are also incredibly fascinating. For example, Moriguchi is intelligent and calculating, even though her actions throughout the story are undeniably horrifying. Shuya Watanabe, on the other hand, appears to be indifferent and clever, but deep down he is only a child longing for attention and understanding. These characters demonstrate that human beings are not simply black and white, nor can they be judged solely by the traits they show on the surface. Each of them carries secrets, struggles, and hidden motivations that shape who they are, making them feel realistic and deeply human. Now, moving on to the weaknesses of this book. One thing that I found less enjoyable was the pacing, especially at the beginning. Minato Kanae provides very detailed descriptions of the characters, their backgrounds, and their thoughts. While these details help readers understand the story more deeply, they can also make the opening chapters feel quite slow. In addition, there are not many major events happening in the early and middle parts of the novel. Because of this, some readers may feel a bit bored or lose interest before the story reaches its most exciting moments. Another weakness is that some characters can be difficult to relate to because their actions and motivations are often very extreme. Since the story focuses heavily on psychological conflicts, there is less emphasis on positive or light-hearted moments. As a result, the atmosphere of the novel can feel quite dark and emotionally heavy throughout most of the story. In addition, the novel is told through multiple perspectives, which can sometimes be confusing for readers who are not used to this style of storytelling. So, what are my thoughts on this book? This book is one of my favorites because it gave me a reading experience unlike any other book I have read. What impressed me the most is that each chapter is told from the perspective of a different character, and in the end, all of their stories connect seamlessly to create an unexpected twist. The book also explores the psychological effects experienced by each character exceptionally well, and at times, these effects are quite disturbing and frightening. For conclusion, this is one of the best psychological thriller books I have ever read. It vividly illustrates how dark and terrifying the human mind and human behavior can be.